Hey, I'm Alex Radical from Board Game Co., and this is News and Week in Review, where we're going to go through a variety of news pieces, although this week is all focused around new games that are coming out. We'll be talking about the topic of the week, which is not a segment I usually have these days, but it is a segment I have this week. We have the videos I covered this past week, as well as the games I covered this past week, or the videos I did this past week, and the games I covered this past week. All of that and more, links and timestamps to everything down below. Let's start off with the news. The news is a lot of upcoming game-related stuff. Starting off with Dungeon Crawler Carl, we have Renegade Games announcing they have the rights to Dungeon Crawler Carl, and they'll be putting out some things. First an RPG, which makes me a little sad. I want board games, and then board games. I'm currently in the middle of Dungeon Crawler Carl. I'm almost finished the first book. It's a series I discovered recently, and then suddenly, before you know it, everyone around me was talking about it. I don't know where this thing came from, but it went from not on my radar at all to suddenly everyone's talking about it. My Discord talking about it. Renegade Games is picking it up. Left, right, and center. All I can hear is Dungeon Crawler Carl. So check out Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's an excellent book. It's amazing. The hype is not to the hype is deserved. The hype is deserved on this one. I'm looking forward to the games, and I will patiently wait through the RPG. We also have over here, we have Ringyo. Ringyo coming to you from Patterson Games. It's going to be an upcoming title. They've been demoing it already, so people have had the opportunity to see this one or test it out. The art looks gorgeous. Very excited for this one. We shall see as far as what the game does, how it delivers, all that. But again, it has been demoed at conventions already. You can already see a few reviews. The reviews are a 9, more news needed. Track, yeah, played at Gen Con 2025, hit of the con. My friends and I are already looking forward to seeing the final product. Simultaneous play is sexiest play. Whose turn is it? My turn. The choices were interesting, they seem to matter. The rules were pretty easy to learn. The rule summary is pretty good. Only major downside was some of the rules were easy to mix up. Okay, this is a longer review. I was just going to go over the small bit. But anyways, yeah, I mean a 9. It's a good starting point. And the hit of the con, that's a good starting point. That's from Patterson Games. We also have Office Dog has Tessen, the Battle for Toshi Ranbo. I had a chance to see this one at Gen Con. They had a media event coming up games. Looked very cool on the table. Excited to actually play this one. Tableau building seemed fun. Excited to learn more. As of right now, I can just tell you that it looks good. Click on the gallery below for full-size images. View gallery 2 images. Yeah, I guess here's what they had. So you can see some degree of stuff from the game. Nothing crazy. It was a prototype set up on the table. It looked interesting. I am excited to play this one. Then we have Minos Dawn of the Bronze Age has an expansion. Minos Dawn of Faith, which I guess I could zoom in over here. Minos Dawn of Faith. I am excited that this is getting an expansion. This is one of those games that I very much liked. I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Really enjoyed it. It built on the same system as Rurik. Speaking of which, Rurik has an upcoming campaign for it. So apparently the Rurik system is getting re-implemented through Minos. It's getting a new version from Fantasia. Either way, exciting. I like the system, but I really like Minos. It's the Rurik system, but more of a Euro game. I liked it a lot, but I didn't hear a ton of buzz about it. And so it's one of those games that I felt was like a good game, well liked, probably never getting an expansion, which has happened before. In the case of Minos Dawn of Faith, it is apparently getting an expansion. So color me excited for this one. This is getting expansion. I'm excited. I'm excited for this one. Then from there we have 2 upcoming crowdfunding campaigns that are very exciting. We have Take from Leader Games. This is from the studio that brought you Root and Arcs. It seems like it's probably a trick-taking game just by the nature of the name, but I could be wrong. Either way, it's called Take, and it's same art style. Kyle Farron, and has 4,000 people following, 4,700 people following the campaign page already. And then likely the biggest news this past week was Brass Pittsburgh. Brass Pittsburgh, 16,000 people following the campaign page. Only just got announced yesterday, so it's been like 28 hours and 16,000 people following already. Makes sense. It's the #1 game of all time, as of right now at least. But this is a third version. I guess it depends on how you count Brass. There's the original Brass, there's Brass Birmingham, Brass Lancashire, and then Brass Pittsburgh now. So technically 4 versions, but I think of it as 3 versions because Lancashire and original are kind of the same thing. So Brass Lancashire, Brass Birmingham, and Brass Pittsburgh. Very intrigued as to what's going to be going on here. Gavin Brown has a whole blog post over on BGG talking about like how it's not just going to be like, a reskin. Every Brass game has to bring something new to the table, or else it's not going to get made. And so what those new things are, time will tell. But this is Brass Pittsburgh, and we shall see. We shall see what happens next with this one. We'll see what they unveil. And that is basically what we have as far as the games of the week, which means, well, the news of the week. It's the news of the week, which is all game focused this week. Which means it's time for my semi-topic of the week. Because my topic of the week is it's been a week. I'm going to put this down over here. It has been a week for me. We'll talk more about it when we get into the videos part, but if you missed it, last week Saturday, I had a news video where I did talk about CG and Dvir. On Sunday, I did a follow-up video explaining why I turned off comments and going into some things. And it's been a week. Not a bad week. I would say an exhausting week, if that makes sense. Comments are very notably on in this video. comments are on in this video. Let's leave it at that. I don't want to get into too much because I'm not trying to just drag things on forever. I definitely wasn't doing a full another video on this. Even now, I'm trying to figure out whether I'm going to have to say things and then cut this segment out or cut parts of the segment. I don't plan on it, but we'll see. Because I'm not trying to stir the pot right now. I just don't have the bandwidth for it. But I also want to talk a little bit about my own experience this week. I posted the video on Sunday. You can check that out. And it got both an overwhelming amount of support and also enough people that were upset. And enough is always a vague term, but I guess for me, I expect there'll always be 5 dislikes in every video. It just is the nature of the beast. There's always going to be 5 dislikes in every video. It doesn't matter what I did or who knows what. Like, every once in a while, I get a video that has like 100% like ratio, and I'm like, what happened? What God smiled upon me today that no one found the time to dislike the video? But most of the time, there's 5 dislikes in every video. And then if it gets into a sensitive subject, if I'm talking about something to do with Simon or who knows what, there's always reasons why you'll get more dislikes. But I definitely got, again, I'd say overwhelming, the majority of feedback. And if you're like, what feedback? The comments were off. I invited emails, and I mentioned this already. I got well over 100 emails, most of which have been replied to right now. There's still some left that I have not yet gotten to, because the problem is I start replying to some, and that creates a chain, and now I have more emails to reply to. There's been a lot of back and forth in emails, some calls with people, different things that I invited conversation. I just invited I invited conversation in a forum that was not open to just a debate back and forth. Because I did act, again, I went into the video, there's a reason I turned off comments, there's a reason I'm okay with that decision, but I also didn't want to turn off discourse. So I invited discourse, and that gave me a homework assignment for the week. And it's been an exhausting week because, first of all, to everyone who wrote me, whether you agree with me or not, whether you're writing a short email of support, whether you're writing an email, I'd say the vast majority of emails were, almost all of the emails were exceedingly polite. There's disagreement, but I never mind disagreement. I never ever mind disagreement. I just mind how we talk to each other and how we communicate. And that's the only thing I've ever cared about. Are we actually talking to each other, or are we just yelling at each other, castigating each other, treating each other like the enemy? Are we creating an environment in which we aren't actually moving the needle? Because I think the part of why I did Sunday's video is I do fear that so often on both sides, this is not like one piece of reasonable feedback I got, which I agree with a caveat, is that the video I put up on Sunday was very much targeting one specific side, which was, I guess, more right-leaning people who were being very dismissive of the people on the other side and feelings and the humanity. It was specifically a video targeting right-leaning people who were, in some of the way that they communicate, were forgetting the humanity of the people they were talking to or about. And there was definitely some degree of conversation in the back and forth emails that I had of like, well, you're only targeting one segment. You talk about how you're middle ground, but like that's not middle, you're only targeting one segment. And I answered, I believe fairly, but also I understand where the criticism comes from, that the reason I had that video is because I was talking to my community. And in my community, and the people who are watching that video, for the most part, the behavior that I didn't like in my community was that kind of behavior. I do think it's true, though, that on all sides, on right-leaning, left-leaning, middle-leaning, there's a lot of times where we forget the humanity of the people we are talking to or about, the people we are disagreeing with. And again, on all sides. And it is hard. Like, something that has been brought up in comments as well as in the video is the idea that the board game the board game industry side of things does lean to the left to a degree, which I don't think is necessarily a bad thing, but I think the part that is tricky is it does sometimes shut down conversation, which I did not help with by turning off comments. I know why I did it, but I agree that it joined that narrative to a degree. I understand, I've said this so many times about so many subjects, I tend to understand the motivations of all sides. And I think that helps in being able to communicate to all sides, but sometimes it just pulls you in different directions too. Sometimes it pulls you in all these different directions where you're trying to be as fair as possible and you just don't know where to go or how to go, and that's tricky. That's very tricky. I understand. It's tricky. It's just a tricky situation. I'm not trying to open up a whole can of worms right now, so I'm trying to choose my words carefully. I'm not trying to get into things again. What I am trying to say is, it's been an exhausting week. I fear sometimes that strong reactions, again, from either side, can sometimes have the effect of either training us to stop talking or pushing us to the other side. I think that happens. I think it happens that you say something here and this side attacks you and you retreat further. Or you say something here and this side attacks you and you retreat further. I think there's a reason so often we can end up entrenched in our encampments, because when you're pushed there, you start off here and you get pushed further and further. Because if you're trying to be pushed in different directions, it's just, again, I'm trying to be so careful because I don't want to open up too much of a can of worms. But I do think it's possible. I do think it's probable that sometimes we just get pushed too far into one side or the other because of overcorrections, overreactions on the way we are treated by one side or the other. Alternatively, sometimes you learn to just shut up and stop talking. Because sometimes it's easier. Sometimes it's easier to just shut up and stop talking, because that way you don't have to deal with the fallout of what you said right and what you said wrong. The amount of criticism you get for not speaking up is always going to be less than the amount of criticism you get for saying the wrong things. And this isn't some like woe is me conversation. It's not. I've said this time and time again. I am privileged to be able to do what I do. I am privileged to have a community of people who, again, the emails I got, the vast majority were just supportive emails, and those that disagreed with me disagreed respectfully, and we had conversations, and I appreciate the heck out of that. I appreciate the heck out of the ability to communicate and to talk and it doesn't even mean you have to change minds, but to walk away understanding where the other person's coming from. And for the vast majority of people I spoke to, again, on both sides, I understand where they're coming from, and I think in many cases some people understand where I'm coming from, possibly a bit more, whether or not you agree. This is not a woe is me conversation. I do fear for the increased polarization of the world. And I don't think this video is not going to change that. Maybe this video can change one person's mind, but this video is not going to change the state of the world and where things are. I understand how that increased polarization has happened. I understand how it can continue to happen. And I understand, unfortunately, why it likely will continue to happen too. It doesn't mean that I like it. I can't change the greater world. I have no plans to. I have no ambitions to. I don't even know how much I can change the space I'm in, like you guys, this audience, the space I cultivate to a degree. I don't know how much I can change that either. I think, as a basic rule of thumb, I don't know. I don't plan on turning off comments again. I understand why I did it, but I don't know if it's the right call or not. The tricky part is the other option, because here's what I won't let stand, ever in any capacity. If you forget the humanity of the other side, again, regardless of where you're coming from, regardless of which side you're coming from, if you start to treat people, if you treat them like the enemy instead of someone you disagree with, and if that comes through in the comments, I don't think that I want to cultivate a space that allows for that. But I think I could choose to try to figure out which people to just delete and block. And that is what it is. And I don't mind that. I don't love deleting a block. I don't like shutting anything down, but if you do treat people in a way that they shouldn't be treated, I think that's a reasonable reaction. But shutting down comments, I don't want that to become a trend for the channel. I know that. Most of us are trying to do the best we can. Most of us are trying to get through life and just have a good time, and just hoping no one bothers us and people leave us alone. People just let us live our best lives. It's been a week. I appreciate all of you who reached out, both to disagree and both to offer words of support. It's just interesting sometimes, because like if you... King of Average did a video on this too. Legion of Games did a video on this too. It's fascinating. In an almost disheartening way, it's fascinating to see the comments that are out there. And it's interesting to see the difference, like, where different viewpoints come from and how they are. I don't know. We're gonna move on to the videos of the week. Videos of the week. Videos of the week. We have the following. Sunday, turning off comments. I turned off comments, and here's why. That was my Sunday's video. On Monday, we had games leaving the collection. It was supposed to be 2 back, not to back. I didn't get a ton of time. That went up Wednesday instead. Speaking of which, Wednesday we had 2 back and not to back. I missed a few games, as many of you pointed out. Those will be covered in, like, Risk of Rain was one of them. There was a few others. Those will be covered in this Monday's 2 back and not to back, assuming that video goes up on time. Thursday, we had a Go On Board interview. We also had a live stream. Both went up on Thursday, if you want to check those out. And then we also had on Friday a vlog video. That's a new series I'm doing that I started a few weeks ago, and now I'm gonna have to catch up on it because I currently have 3 weeks worth of videos already, and I'll have to figure out exactly how and when they're going up. But basically, vlog week 1 went up on the channel. Weeks 2 and 3 to be followed. It's gonna be an ongoing series for however long I find it interesting, and then it will stop. It might be a month and a half. It might be 7 months. It might be 7 years. I don't yet know. And that was basically the videos we had this past week, which brings us to the games we covered this past week. We covered a few things. We had a review for Oddland. I really enjoyed Oddland. From all play, it's a simple, straightforward game. The biggest challenge is going to be, will it stand? Will it hold strong amongst so many other games that give you that point scoring optimization with variability built in? Silos. Also reviewed Silos. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's a kind of fun game. It's tricky. Like, I'm in this tricky space where more and more 4 out of 5s don't stay in the collection, and Silos is here for now. I don't know if it's going to stick around, but the tricky part is, like, again, as I play so many games and as I enjoy them, like, the standard to which a game has to be for me to keep it and play it has kind of moved up over time. At once upon a time it was a 3.5, for a long time it was a 4, now it's kind of 4.5s are safe, and 4 and lower are kind of situational. 3.5s are almost always never here, 4s are situational. Silos is here for now. I don't know what it'll be long term, but I really like it. It's just kind of fun. It's fun kidnapping cow invasion with area control. It's straightforward, it's fun, but lots of great games out there. Gave it a 4 out of 5. We also had a review for Tag Team. I really like Tag Team. Tag Team is a fun, straightforward game. I gave it a 4 out of 5 as well. That one, though, is plays so quickly. The problem with Silos is I might just want to play a different area control game. Tag Team, I have nothing else like it in my collection. So that's a 4 out of 5 that I'll stick around for right now, and it might even go up over time. It's kind of light. It's deck building, auto battling, but great art and simple to play. Just a good time overall. Really enjoyed playing through Tag Team. There's also Iliad. Iliad, also from Bitewing Games. Didn't love Iliad. Wanted to like Iliad. I found it to be... It's an abstract game, very much an abstract game, Reina Knizia abstract to the nines, but ultimately I found that the constant adding of different things, I found it to be more abstract than many games that are abstract. I guess the number crunching was so much more obvious in that one, so for me, like, I wanted to like it. It was okay. Pirates of Maracaibo, gave it a 5 out of 5. It's my second 5 out of 5 this year. Last one was going to be Shackleton Base, which I did a review for last week. These are my 2 5 out of 5s right now. I don't have any others yet. There may be more coming. I don't know yet. As of right now, there isn't. But who knows? Lots of 4.5s this year. Not so many 5 out of 5s. Only 2. Pirates of Maracaibo, Shackleton Base. They are both amazing. And then we also had a sponsored preview for Rumian. That went up on Thursday. Check out that. I didn't play it, so I can't tell you much about it. That was from Meg, so check out Rumian. That brings us to the games we covered, which means today we're going to have a few things. We're going to have a review for Jackpot, an active crowdfunding campaign, as well as a review for A Wild Venture. That's a pre-order from Pika Games. You can check that out over on GameFound. As far as, what are we up to? The next week, oh yeah, we have game, yeah, those are segments. Next we're going to have a few things. We should have the games added in the month of July. We should have the month in review video, as well as 10 great games I'm getting rid of, specifically because of Shackleton Base and Pirates of Maracaibo. 2 5 out of 5s made me once again realize which games do stick around and which games am I willing to get rid of. There are some heavy hitters. This is not me like just finding games on the shelf. This is me finding great games that I'm not playing and saying, you know what, it is what it is. These are better games that are sticking around. So check out that video. Some definite heavy hitters leaving the collection. And that brings us to the games on the table. The games on the table, the theme this week is these are all the games I'm going to be playing with my kids very shortly, because they're all, well, not necessarily all kids games, but these are kids games or games my kids like, one of those 2 categories. We have Way Too Many Cats. To be fair, this is, I don't even know if it's a kid game. It's supposed to be heavier than it looks, but my kids will play it, so we'll see. We have Haunted House Pinball. I set this up. My kids very much enjoyed flicking dice. We didn't read the rules yet, but, well, now I read the rules, but we flicked dice. Then I read the rules, and we'll be playing it properly shortly. We have Jungo. Welcome to the Jungo from the people who brought you Trio. We have 4-Shuffle Dartmoor. My daughter loves 4-Shuffle. She has been asking me to play this since I brought it back from Gen Con, and that will be happening very shortly. We have Gloomies, which is the only one on the table that I haven't read the rules for yet, so that will hopefully happen before I play it, because that's an essential component to playing games. And then we have a place for all my books, which I've read the rules. I'm prepped to go. Well, I'm prepped for everything except for Gloomies. But these are the games that I hope to be playing this week. In any case, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.